Well, that was the.
Thank you.
That was the tears were flowing. So I'd like to say, so Sam, who's played by you, she lives and suffers from epilepsy. So how did you prepare yourself for the character Sam and her death?
I have been lucky enough to be best friends with Alina since year 7. So I have spent a lot of my life being inspired by her and her journey and how she has fought so much and stayed so incredibly brave and wonderful throughout it all. And so a lot of Sam and her inner resilience, which is kind of the basis of a character, I inspired off Alina. And then I built from there, and obviously the script, and I spoke to the directors and creators, who I'm very lucky to be sat between, and kind of thought about how Sam would have her life affected by epilepsy, because she's not one-dimensional. She's not just a girl who has epilepsy. She is so much more than that, as you. And her death, something that's very interesting when you're playing a character who you know dies. Obviously it's a sudden, unexpected death. She doesn't know that she's going to die. She knows she's getting progressively worse, but she doesn't realise that it could get that bad, or she doesn't, as the monologue very well puts it, she doesn't realise that it could be her, or it could be her so soon. And so marrying those concepts in my head, knowing as an actor, my character's going to die, but knowing that when I'm in character, all I know is that I'm ill and I don't know how to tell my friends. And then the monologue in hindsight is also very interesting, because at that point, obviously, she knows that she has passed, and she's regretting everything that she chose not to do, but I have to simultaneously justify it where in the moment when she is acting as just a normal friend and pretending it's all okay. And having all of that in one was just, it was a privilege to play her, so thank you so much.
Thank you. I think you did the role justice. Like it was amazing, and the monologue was incredible. No, of course. Thank you. Sophia.
Oh, sorry, you're there. You've got a mic.
You got.
No, I do.
You do. So you are, I've heard, quite the theatre drama girl. Yeah. You've been Legally Blonde.
I have.
You have. No, but I can't actually hear. But yeah, how was that?
Very fun.
Yeah, good. So you're theatre drama girl over here. So when you're on set for The Barrier, I heard that you became a crew member on your first day. So how was that experience, and what was it like working with the directors and crew?
So I will say it's a bit generous to say that I became a crew member, because I did hold a light, but I was very honoured to be able to hold that light. And it was so much fun to be part of a different aspect of the production of a piece of theatre and like a film, because I am usually on like the acting side of things or like the camera side of things. It was so much fun and so informative to be on like the creation side of things, even if it was only for one shooting day. It was really fun. I also did the clapperboard, which is it's an exhilarating experience. And I think like being part of this cast, like having such incredible and like knowledgeable director, having directors that are so close to the theme of the movie and so intertwined to the story that they are trying to tell is just so, it's such a beautiful, it makes the film such a beautiful thing to be a part of, because I feel like I was, as everyone else must have been, was so much more able to be in the world of the movie, if that makes sense. And it was such a beautiful experience to be part of this beautiful cast.
Do you feel like you got more like insight into the film then, doing the acting and being part of the crew?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I knew when not to walk in front of the lights. I was like, no guys, they're holding it so well right now.
I love that. Amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Katerina, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Lovely crew up here. So on Instagram we've seen you dance, laugh, be funny. Your kind of personality. So to quickly be able to go into like quite a heavy scene, like quite a heavy movie. In the second act of the film we see you shed a tear. I know all of you did, but how did you get into the mental space for that, and what was it like playing Caitlin?
Well, for that scene, we weren't actually like originally planning necessarily to have tears. I think that was something that very much just came over us while shooting, because as anyone in the cast can tell you, like, this film was made with so much love, and like
and obviously also my friendship with Nina runs so deep. For those who know, she's like my primary school best friend, so we've known each other for so long. And filming that scene, like, it was really just so emotional that I think it kind of, like, it really touched me, and I think touched all of us to be filming that, and I think that's how I managed to get into that space. But yeah, it was certainly like a heavy scene to film. After we finished, I was really like drained, you know? But playing Caitlin in general was so fun. Like, genuinely, this cast and this crew, and like, I just had such an amazing time with all of these people. I had the best time filming this, and I really miss it. Like, I really miss being on set.
I think you can see that. I think that comes across in the film, that you can tell that you're all really close. That does highlight. That's one of the things that makes it so great. So yeah, thank you for that. Alina, it's our director. Obviously, epilepsy's we live with it, don't we, girl?
Yeah.
So it's a sensitive subject. So something that, you know, to do a movie on was a big deal. So it must be really close to home. What inspired the storyline of SUDEP?
Wow, that's a really strong one. So SUDEP really is a hard topic to talk about because it's sudden, unexpected, unexplained death in epilepsy. And oh gosh, guys.
Yeah, take your time, you're good.
Me and Kathleen, we knew that we wanted to do a large scale production. And oh god, this is so hard to say because it's such a tricky topic. We knew we wanted a large scale of a production. We were trying to find our navigation and we were trying to think of the cause of death. But I'll get onto that in a minute. For us, on a large scale of a production, you know, normally for a single student doing this by themselves, it would take them 4 weeks. For us, it took us 8 weeks. So if we go all the way back to October, whilst we were ideating, got a phone call from a friend of mine who had had 5 seizures back to back. And he had said to me on the phone that if he'd had one more seizure, he would have died. And after the phone call really affected me. But it was also a reality check because I'd realised that I hadn't said anything to my friends, to my family, about the severity of living with epilepsy. And there are 2 reasons for that. It's because we live in fear and uncertainty. The fear that comes with living with epilepsy when you get told about SUDEP is that you can go at any moment in time. And you live with that fear every single day. There's no warnings, there's no signs, there's no nothing. Oh gosh, guys. There's no nothing. And I'd realised that, you know, I'm at the age now where I need to tell my friends that the severity of it is quite important. Kathleen knew that there was something up with me after this phone call. And so she questioned me about it. She was like, what's up? What's on your mind? And I said, in my head I thought, I need to overcome this fear. Because if I don't overcome this fear, I'm never going to get anywhere and I'm not going to grow up. So I sat down with her and I had the most honest conversation I've had with her about living with epilepsy. I overcame that fear of telling her the severe stuff that happens when you live with epilepsy. And I said to her, you know, when you get diagnosed with epilepsy and when you get told about SUDEP, the NHS cover it in one session and then they brush it underneath the carpet. They don't cover it anymore. You get lack of support from the NHS. You know, not many people are aware of it. And I said to her as well that I'm really nervous to tell my friends. I'm really, really nervous because I don't know how I'm going to tell them because I'm so close with a lot of my friends. And that's where the idea of SUDEP and friendship came together in the film. We wanted to advocate for people who couldn't advocate for themselves. But yeah, so essentially it was about overcoming fear.
That's beautiful. Sorry, that's going to take me a minute. That's going to set me off as well. I think we can see like firsthand how much this means to you, and that it's the community of epilepsy is going to be inspired by this, because you know we do live in fear. There's so much stigma around it, and it's hard to talk about because a lot of the time you don't understand. You're trying to figure it out yourself as well. So that's like the death of it is very real, but it's also not talked about enough, because like just in that film, like you don't think or you don't deal with it until